Now the another lecture in the same unit. Just I am going to continue. So about the structure chart. So what is the structure chart and where we will use this structure chart? So this represents hierarchical structure of the modules. So whenever we are going to design any software or software product, then first we break that project into number of modules. And you have already aware that we divide into various units, components, subsystem, and system. Okay. So if we have any system, or we can say the big project, then during designing, whenever we are going to start the design phase, then for the simplicity or for the better management, we divide this into number of units, or we can say components or subsystem and system. So the hierarchical structure we can call as the number of units. Whenever we are going to integrate those, then those small units will form the number of components, and whenever we will combine all those components, then we will get the modules and then subsystem and system. So here, what is the structure chart? Just we are going to divide our project into number of modules. So it is also called the structure of modules. And after implementation various modules, just we will combine all those modules, or we can say integrate all those modules to form the big shape. So it breaks down the entire system into lowest function modules. So we can also call it as the lowest functional module, because whenever we are going to write any software, then it consists of number of functions. Those are called the functional modules. Okay, so this is, we can say, one of the smallest unit whenever we are going to design any project. Okay, and it is easy to debug such type of modules, or we can say at the level of the units or at the level of components, because we can easily debug all those functions and can check the output whether we are getting the proper output or not. So before that, whenever we are going to break our system into number of modules, then first we will draw the structure chart. So we can draw the structure chart for our any project, whether it is a complex type project or the smallest project. Okay. So in this case, we have number of functions and sub-functions of each module, because each module consists of number of functions and sub-functions. Okay. So structure chart partitions the system into black boxes. So whenever we are going to divide into number of modules, then these modules will act as the black boxes. Okay. So whatever we are going to provide the input, and we will get the corresponding output, but we are not aware what type of the functions are going on inside the black box. Okay, so such type of modules will act as the black box, because we are going to divide our project or our software into number of modules. Then each module will act as a separate black box, and for each module we will check the input, and also we will check the corresponding output and what is going on inside, or we can say how the function is working. Okay, so we are not aware. So we can also say that the user is not aware what is going on, or how the programming is going on, how we are getting the particular output or corresponding output. Okay, so These modules are called the black boxes. So functionality of the system is known to the user, but inner details are unknown. Okay. So what are inside this, then the users are not aware. So inputs are given to the black boxes and appropriate outputs are generated. So the users are aware only by the inputs and outputs, and what is going inside, the users are not aware. So there are number of we can say the symbols we will use to draw the structure chart. And what is the structure chart? What is the structure chart? Just we are going to divide our system for which we are going to design. Okay, suppose we have any project, then we will divide our project into various modules. Okay, then we will draw the structure chart with the help of those modules. And what are the modules? Modules consist of different type of functions and number of sub functions, and how they are working, the user is not aware, because in this case all those modules will act as a black boxes. Okay, that's why users are not aware by the what is inside is going on the black box. Okay, he is aware by only the inputs and outputs. Now there are various symbols which we will use to draw the structure chart. Now first is called the control module. Okay, so there are various, here we can say the symbols used for the construction of the structured chart. Now a control module branches to more than one sub module. So a control module consists of number of sub module, or we can say various branches. Okay, so control module, here just we are going to divide our module into various sub modules. So the signal will flow into number of sub modules, or we can say here the data will flow from the main module to various sub modules. Now we can say what is the sub module. So sub module is a module which is the part of another module. Okay, if we are going to divide the module into various we can say the sub modules. Okay, then it is called the sub module, or we can say the child of the, or we can say the children of the module. Okay, then module will act as a parent, and then we can divide our process or the module into some modules, and those some modules will be called as a child. Okay, or we can say the children. Another is called the library module. So what is the library module? These are the reusable and invocable from any module. So we can create or we can use those modules. Okay, so whenever we are going to collect such type of functions into a library, then these are called the library modules. Okay, so that we can use those functions. Okay, or we can invoke those functions from the module. So it is again a collection of various functions or sub functions in a library, that is called the library module. Now here you can see how we are going to divide the control module into various sub modules. Okay, so this is, here you can check here, control module, and it is divided into various sub module. Here these are called the sub module, will act as a child. Okay, and these are called the children of this module. So this is the main module, or we can say the control module. So the data will flow from this side to the children. Okay, so this will be the direction to the data flow. So from this, that's why it is called the control module, because it is controlling these two sub modules. Okay, and here you can see this is called the library module, because all those functions related to this module, or we can say the sub module, this library module have the collection of various functions related to the control module or sub module inside this. Okay, So that's why this is called the library module. You have already aware why the library functions, because library functions, it consists of various functions which are necessary to operate the programs. Okay, so it has various functions so that we can operate easily, or we can write and run or execute our program with the help of various library functions, because this also contains various functions uh, that has we can say the direct connection with the header files. Okay, so here this is also similar to those. Okay, we have already studied about various library functions, whether it is related to the Java compiler or C or C++ and other compilers. So similarly in this case also, the control module and sum module, these have various functions, consist of various functions and sub functions, and the library module will have the connectivity with those functions and keep record in this library module. Now another is called the conditional call. Okay, so this is the first one. Okay, symbols used in construction of structure chart, and here this is the conditional call after the control module. So it represents that control module can select any of the sum module on the basis of some condition. So whenever we will write any program, then it consists of various conditions. Okay, so on the behalf of that, we can divide our problem into various modules. So in this case, you can also see here, it represents the control module. So this is the control module, can select any of the sub module on the basis of some condition. So just here we are going to check this diamond shape here. You can call as the conditional here. Just we are going to check the condition. Okay. So control module, as it will send the data from here, and here we are going to decide answer is true or false, yes or no, and on the behalf of the condition, we can proceed our problem. Okay, or we can solve our process or the problem here, and accordingly we will get the output. So this information or the data, it will go to this some module. If it is positive, plus that is the true or false, and accordingly the sum module will execute. Okay, so this is the conditional call. So on the behalf of this condition, first the program will check the condition here. So this is the simple structure to check the condition here. So this is called the conditional call, and here we will represent by these structures, so that we can draw easily the structure chart. So there are the basic symbols which we can use to draw the structure chart. Now this is again the loop. Okay, that was the conditional. That is whenever we are going to check the condition, then how we can represent the condition with the help of the symbols. Then we have already seen here. Okay, and this is the loop repetitive call of module. So it represents the repetitive execution of module by the sum module. Okay, a curved arrow represents loop in the module. So this you can see here, the curved arrow. Okay, so this is the control module. Control module means just we are the programmer is going to control his program with the help of this control module. Okay, so the condition, or we can say the data, will flow from this side, but first it will check the condition. Okay, earlier we have already seen, but in this case, this is the repetitive call, because it is again coming to this side. So the condition will check again and again. This is the repetitive loop. Okay, again the you can say it is returning to the control module on, and it will check. So this is the loop condition, and if it is okay, one time will come, the condition will fulfill, then this will operate, and we will get our answer according to this. Now, so this will call the sum module, and again you can see here there are three conditions, okay, and accordingly if we will use the repetitive loop, then one time will come either this or this or this may be true, okay, and according to that the program will choose the answer, right answer or the appropriate answer. So how we can represent the loop or the repetitive call of module with the help of the special symbols, so that we can use to draw the structure chart. Okay. Now the data flow, how we are going to represent the data flow with the help of the symbols. Now it represents the flow of data between the modules. So now in this diagram you can see we have only two modules, that is called the module 1 and module 2, and how they have the interconnectivity and how the data is flowing from module 1 to module 2. Now in this case you can see the data flow is from both sides, okay, from module 1 to module 2 and also from module 2 the module 1. So there is a interchanging of the data. Okay, so how the data will flow, now you can see here, and how we are going to represent with the help of special symbols. Now you can see. So it represents the flow of data between the modules. Okay, it is represented by directed arrow with empty circle at the end. Now you can see here. So this is the arrow and there is a circle. Okay, again this is the arrow and this is the circle, and this circle is empty. Okay, in both sides. Now you can see this is the arrowhead and this is the empty circle at the end of the arrow. Okay, so this is representing the data flow. So the condition is the arrow must be empty and this is the arrowhead. So it means it is indicating that the data is flowing from this side to this. Okay, and similarly in this case the data is flowing from circle side to the this arrowhead. Okay, it is indicating that data is going from module 1 to module 2. So in this way we can represent how the data is flowing with the help of the special symbols, because whenever we are going to design any project, and if there is a need arise to draw or to represent it with the help of the structure chart, then we can represent our problem with the help of the structure chart by using special symbols. Okay, so structure chart is used to show our problem. Okay, and we can divide our program or the problem into various modules, and then we can draw the diagram structure chart with those special symbols. Okay, now another here control flow and how the control flow is taking place. Now in this diagram you can see here it represents the flow of control between the modules. Okay, so flow of control between the modules, it is represented by directed arrow with filled circle at the end. Okay, so there is a little bit difference between the data flow and the control flow. In case of the data flow, we have the same module, just we are going to divide our problem into various modules. Just we are considering here module 1 and module 2, and here you can see we have the we are using the arrows, and at the end you can see the empty circles. So we are indicating about the data flow between the module and module 1 and the module 2. But here in case of the control flow, just you can see here the circle is filled. Okay, the symbol is same, only the difference is circle is empty. In the preceding case, here the circle is filled. Okay, so this is only the difference between the indication or between the symbols of data flow and the control flow. Okay, so in case of the control flow, the circles are filled. I think it is clear to you, because in the next class we will learn how we can draw the structure chart. Okay, so we can use various here special symbols to draw the structure chart. Now it is only the basic difference between the data flow and the control flow. Now, what is the physical storage? Everybody is aware by the physical storage, so that we can use or store the data. Okay, so physical storage is that where all the information are to be stored. Now we can store all the related information or the data. It may be a you are already aware external hard disk or the secondary storage in our computer or the laptop. Okay, so we can use the pen drive or the, so this is called the secondary memory. It may be the external hard disk. Okay, so how we are going to store the data? So this is the symbol which we will use if we are going to draw the structure chart. So this is the basic symbol which is used for the physical storage whenever we are going to draw the structure chart. Okay, now you just you can here revise all those symbols, because whenever you are going to draw the structure chart, then you have to use such type of symbols. Okay, so control module, sub module, library module, we have already discussed all these special symbols here. Okay, so just I am going to brush up again. We are going to divide our problem, our program, our project, okay, into various modules. So the first is called the control module, okay, and again if we are going to divide our module into various other modules, or we can say the children, then this is called the sub modules, library modules, which have various functions and sub functions, okay, related to those functions which we have already used. So it also contains the library. Okay, various functions reside here so that we can use or we can call those functions. Now, control module, just we are going to divide into various sub module. Okay, so these are called the children of the module or sub module. Library module, so these are the basic symbols which we will use for the control module, or the symbols for the sub modules. Now you can see here, and if we are going to represent the library module, then in this way we can use, this is the symbols, okay, to whenever we are going to draw the structure chart, then we can use these various, we can say the special symbols. Okay, conditional calls. So then if we are using the various conditions during writing our programs, or we are going to divide our project into various sub modules, then we can use here the various, you can see here the special symbols. Now these are called the special symbols for the conditional call. Okay, so control module, here this is the special symbols, this is the diamond shape, this is called the conditional call or the condition. Whenever we are going to check, then it may be true or false, and accordingly it will choose the this module or this module. Okay, so we may have the various some modules, and according to the fulfillment of the condition, then we can choose the condition of the sum modules here. Now the loop repetitive call of, now here you can see repetitive call, already you are aware, then this is indicating that the control is going again and again to the control module here. Okay, even though here we have three conditions, three sum modules, some module here, this sum module, again this sum module, and whenever the chance or the time will come, as this condition will be fulfilled here or maybe true, then accordingly we can choose. So our target is a curved arrow represents a loop in the module here. So this is the curved arrow. Okay, the control is going again and again. It means this is the loop or the repetitive call of module here. So data flow, again I am telling you about the flow of data. Here you can see, so this is the symbol to represent the data flow. Here you can see we are using the arrow, and this is the arrowhead, and at the end here you can see this is the empty circle. Okay, so we can represent this the data flow with the help of the arrow and the circle which is empty. So this is showing the flow of data between the modules, various modules. Okay, another condition is the control flow, and here in the control flow you can see only there is a minor difference between the symbols for the data flow and the control flow. In case of the control flow, just you can see here, again just I am considering the example module 1 and module 2, and in this case you can see here the circle is filled. So this is only the minor difference between the data flow and control flow symbols. Okay, for the structure chart. So this is not the symbol. This is the module 1 and module 2, and how the data is flowing from module 1 to module 2. You can see here only this arrowhead is indicating that the data is coming from module 1 to module 2, and here this is indicating the data is flowing from module 2 to module 1. So this is the special symbol. This is used for the control flow. Now the physical storage, I have already told you about the physical storage. So again, here we can call, so this is the special symbol which we can use for the physical storage. Okay. Now here, this is one of the example. Here you can see a structure chart for an email server. Okay. So first we will design this, okay, and after that we will check about the various sub modules needed for the such type of email server.
मैंने ठीक है भाई इसका तो कोई बात ना.
Any question, please? You are talking here. So here just you can concentrate here on various symbols here. So this is the symbol for the here you can see the various modules, enter login detail. Okay, view mailbox. Here there are various conditions: compose messages, view messages, verify login details, compose in database. Here you can see compose messages, then send messages. So there are various conditions. So whenever you are going to design the software for the email server, then there is a need arise first to draw the flow chart. Now here we can see this is the structure chart. Okay, structure chart. Here just we are involving various we are going to divide our problem into various modules and sub modules. Now for the email server, just there is a need of various modules and some modules, and how the data is flowing. Okay, we are going to indicate with the help of the special symbols how the data is flowing from. Just you are going to here show the verify login details. Okay, if it is okay, then you can see here the load account. Okay, so data is flowing. So this is the special symbol for the data flow here. So data is flowing from this side to this. Okay, view mailbox. Okay, again you can see here. So there are various conditions may arise here. Now the view mailbox. Here you can again, if you want to check the view messages, or if you want to write the messages, compose messages. Okay, so just you are going to divide. This is the module. Again, you are going to divide into some modules. Now there are two conditions. You can view the messages, you can write the messages, compose the messages, and how the data is flowing, taking place. Then just you are indicating with the help of these symbols. Okay, so data is flowing toward this side from this, because just first you are going to open this view mailbox, and after that you are checking this view messages, so data will flow from this type. So this is the true direction. And similarly, if you are going to write the message, then that here the direction will be, now you can see with the help of this. So this is called the data flow. First you will go to this side, and after this, now to write the messages here, just you can see here control flow, repetitive flow. Okay, here you can uh, write various messages again and again. Okay, so this symbol is showing that any user, okay, here write the messages, and after that he would like to send messages. Okay, so compose messages here, just you are writing and removing and deleting all those activity uh, will be done by you or by the user. And after finally after checking this, you are going to send your message to a particular address. Okay, so again this is showing the data flow. Okay, now you have already sent this message to a particular address, and after that this is showing ask send. Okay, so this is the control flow, just you are thinking for the acknowledgement. Okay, ask send. So ask send, just you can see here, this is the special symbol which is showing the control flow here. This is the filled circle, okay, and this is the arrowhead. So this is called the control flow. Here, just you want to check whether the message has already been received mm, at the particular address or not. Okay. Now here again the condition arises, verify login details. Okay. If it is okay, then compose in database. So the data again will flow from here. Login details are again passes. So here you can use these symbols for the data flow, and if the details are okay, then this is called the control flow. Details are okay, then you can indicate this with the help of the filled circle. So there are various special symbols which you can use to draw the structure chart. So this is one of the simple example for any type of problem. You can draw the structure chart, and you have already seen various special symbols which I told you already. So that you can use those symbols, and then you can draw the structure chart for any type of problem, okay, related to the software engineering, or if you are going to design any project, or you are going to write any program, then accordingly you can draw the structure chart for that. Now the types of structure chart here, first we will see, first is called the transform centered structure. So there is no need to go inside or into deep, just you must be aware what is the structure chart, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, and what are the basic or the special symbols which we can use to draw the structure chart. Okay, so only there are few questions for that you can get the answer for all those. And what are the different types of structure chart? Then first is called the transform center structure. So these type of structure chart are designed for the system that receives an input which is transformed by a sequence of operations being carried out by one module. Okay, so in this case we will use the one module, because here all those operations will be carried out by only one module. Okay, so this is called the transform centered structure. So these type of structure chart are designed for the system that receives an input which is transformed by a sequence of operation being carried out by one module. Okay, so here we are going to use only one module. So this is called the transform centered structure. Second is the transaction centered structure. Okay, so this is the last slide here. After that, we can discuss various problems based on this, and how we can draw the structure chart. So another type is called the transaction centered structure. So these structure describes a system that processes a number of different types of transaction. So if the transaction will take place, then we can use such type of structure. So these structure describes a system that processes a number of different types of transaction. So how the transaction is taking place means how the data is flowing from one module to the another module or from one module to other sub module. So this is called the transaction centered and first is called the transform centered. Okay. So there are only two types of here the data structure chart. Okay. So first is called the transform centered structure and another is called the transaction centered structure. So for the various you can say the small we can call the problems, you can draw the structure chart. Okay. Suppose for the hotel management system, you can draw the structure chart with the help of the various special symbols. Okay. And for other inventory system, or we can say other small problems, you have to try to draw the structure chart. Okay. And I will give you one or two problems so that you can try to draw the structure chart. So any question till now? Just I am taking your attendance here.
सर यूनिट 3 और सर 2 के नोट्स दे दीजिए सर.
Pardon?
सर यूनिट 2 और 3 के नोट्स दे दीजिए.
आवाज आपकी बहुत कम आ रही है, कमेंगे सर.